Hello and welcome to another New Reading cast. As always, my name is Johno and I'm joined once again by special guest Chris Dyer. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Johno.
And we have the final for the BABW Reading Qualifier, which saw on the left-hand side Chris Martin playing his somewhat explosive Soul deck, and on the right-hand side, Ollie McEnteggart playing his Whizzard deck, which I don't remember exactly what type it is, but it's like one of two, right? So it's going to be Dumballs or it's going to be
it's Dumballs, it's Siphon, or it's Temujin.
Yeah, okay. So
which makes targeting marketing slightly more difficult unless you've seen the deck already. Which by this point you almost certainly know exactly what deck your opponent's on.
Yeah, I think they almost certainly play during the Swiss, if not earlier during the Cup.
Even if you don't, you almost certainly know by word of mouth by now, especially in a relatively small tournament.
So we're going to have a sweep. So he's having to think about his other two clicks.
Yeah, this is a very unsure opening. This is what I call a one-click turn.
I wonder if he's got so he does have a current. Looks like predictive algorithm at the back. He doesn't have Tamar, so he's not thinking about that. He's got ice though. Okay, so maybe he's thinking about his ice placement.
That's interesting. So
he's going to leave R&D wide open.
Yeah. So R&D is actually better to leave open nowadays because, especially when people are on Temujin, you'd rather they hit R&D repeatedly than they hit HQ repeatedly because there's less chance of fresh accesses.
Yes. Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah. So giving up an exploder, not the end of the world.
No. So that has given Ollie pause because if Chris is on mid seasons. Before that, he couldn't have played it, but that exploder has actually put him in mid seasons range.
So he's thinking about playing a casts. In an era of hot-hitting news, is that very dangerous?
I would take a credit in that situation.
Okay, all right.
Play cast next turn.
He had a spare click, so we did take a credit.
Yeah, so
he finished on 6. That's okay.
Yeah.
That'll finish him on. He'd start next turn on 8.
I'd rather have 10 and not have it in play.
So we score a breaking news out of hand, and Soul plays predictive algorithm. Okay, all right. So predictive algorithm, another one that lends itself towards a mid-season-y kind of thing.
Predictive algorithm is the classic 4th current because you can only play 3 copies of targeted marketing.
Yeah, okay. I like predictive algorithm, but
it's fine. It's just not as good as the other options.
Wild side, right. So that answers that question.
Yeah, so he's on doubles.
Yeah, okay. So we can expect Faust, Cutlery.
Yeah, now we don't know if Chris is on it or not, but Wildside has some pretty bad interactions with hard-hitting news because if you do get tagged, you're not going to be able to clear them.
That is true, and hilarious. He might have pancakes somewhere, of course, but yeah, okay. So
it's risky to play it about the pancakes.
The wild side will eventually deliver pancakes.
Absolutely, yeah. So Ollie's challenge is to make this game go long enough to get double forks overwhelming late game into play.
Yeah, okay, all right. So he kind of wants to get set up a little bit before he starts probing, right? Given that he's quite low on money.
Yeah, so Chris is drawing with Jackson. He's almost certainly drawing. Turntable's great in this match.
That's interesting.
Chris is probably drawing for another 2-1 ideally, and his kill pieces. Yes. That turntable means that he can swap the breaking news away, which will take the breaking news 24/7 play away.
Yeah, Ollie knows that he's on 24/7. Okay, so 50 minutes. All right. So that's now going to play targeted marketing for a Faust. Okay, so predictive algorithm goes away, presumably because the targeted marketing showed up. So he expects a Faust. That's a very reasonable call to make, I think.
Yeah.
Although
it's interesting whether he needs the money though.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's true. I wonder if medium or something might have been. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, so check on R&D sees a Shattered Remains, which gets trashed. That's an interesting bluff. Install double advance, maybe bluff a GFI.
Yeah, unusual. This deck normally wouldn't do that. It probably doesn't install advanced ones that much, but if you hit it, it turns on a game that potentially you couldn't have won before.
Okay, Chris is very aggressively drawing with Jackson Howard now.
So he's already got 2 agendas in place, so all he needs is a kill combo.
Yeah, he needs a combo,
and if he can get that before Ollie assembles I've Had Worse, or before he assembles a Plastic, he's got a much better chance.
So he's going to be in like a sales team. That's an unusual one, but I guess it's the odd 2-pointer.
It's strange because they would usually be more exploded losers.
Okay, all right. So he's going to use Jackson anyway to return some things. Let's see. 3 face down. 3 face down. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So that's a shame because he's lost his draw ability. Yeah,
that's true. We might get another Jackson. Might be able to continue the draw. He was drawing quite aggressively. Obviously, now that he's got his 2 1-pointers, he needs, especially with turntable on the table, he needs to get his kill pieces as fast as possible.
Yeah, so because he's only one of those as breaking news, turntable is still very live here to switch the breaking news away. Now, you don't mind giving up points to do that. You can give him a 2 or even 3-pointer quite happily.
Yeah, okay. All right. Does he have any kill pieces in hand? I can't see. He's got hard-hitting news for sure. That might have been 24/7 as well.
I think he had one at the start of the game.
He's got 24/7.
Looks like he's got a scorched.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if Ollie's got I've Had Worse. If he has, he will definitely keep them in hand and not play them. Mimic's an interesting one. So presumably Mimic is for swordsman?
Turnpike and Data Raven is
Sure,
relevant in
because
this
they're more
matchup.
efficient
Yeah, you have to play a
okay.
Mimic in this deck because you don't want to be breaking Architect repeatedly with cards, and because of Swordsman, but it's mostly Architect.
That's fair. Okay, so let's see. He's got so he's going to put Raven on the remote, and he's going to force an agenda in here by the look of it. Let's see what he does. No, he's not. He's going to hedge. Okay.
That'd be interesting because that's not his plan. Presumably, that's not what he wants to do in this deck.
Okay. So he does have the pancakes down now. So if he does start running, the hard-hitting news threat is less.
Yeah, it's really interesting that Chris has devoted 2 eyes to a remote. So his centrals are actually quite weak here, and because of turntable, you really don't want to bleed too many accesses from your centrals.
So maybe suspecting an agenda, given the double-iced remote. Ollie's going to have a peek at HQ. Does he take the?
So he
take the breaking
he
news?
should turntable that for breaking news.
So you might have forgotten. I'm not sure what you swap for breaking news. If not a Beal, that seems like the best thing. But
literally any agenda, I would swap for breaking news.
Maybe not a GFI, I guess.
I would even swap a GFI. You can always swap it back later.
If you're on kill, I suppose that's true. Yeah, okay. It's not like it's exchange. That's the game plan. So he was able to get into HQ for, let's see, 1 credit. Another for Mimic and a sucker. No, he gained a sucker. Okay, so for like
it cost him 2 credits.
Yeah, but he's gaining suckers, so that's going to help.
Mid-season's still very much on though. For Chris,
he's going to click for credits to get up to 8. I don't think that's too unreasonable. I wonder if Chris now considers, he did have the sales team as well, if he considers throwing that in the remote.
Yeah, he does,
looks like he does. Okay, so I think there's an optional draw as well before that. So he's on 4 points. Is he going to try and score out now? I guess so. Like
Chris's plan is interesting. It feels like he's drawn agendas and not too many of his kill pieces, and it almost feels like he's trying to go for a score win. So one, that suggests this is a hybrid list where scoring is an option, and he definitely wants to build a remote. 2, it should tell Ollie that Chris isn't really in position to kill him.
Yes, that's true. And Ollie doesn't seem. David helps, but doesn't seem in a position to challenge the remote.
This is risky as well because this is almost certainly a 2-pointer.
So he's going to check the right.
He's still advanced it.
You've got a jack out here, I think.
If Ollie steals this, he does go to 6 points. So
that's true. So he could even consider just barraging HQ if he thinks there's another one in there, or R&D.
He can break this.
Once you don't care about tags, there's very few pieces of ice you care about. He does jack out, and
he could have broken that. He'd have gone very low on money, but it was an option.
But he has made a run. He's on 3 credits, so this could be dangerous. We know that Chris has a hard-hitting news. Now he could score the agenda. That's the alternative. So I'm not sure which way he's going to go with this.
I would hard-hitting news here because purely because Ollie's economy is so
he
low.
can do it without boosting the trace as well. So he does. Okay, so he's going to pay 3. And not boost the trace because 4 is sufficient, and he's going to give Ollie 4 tags. Okay.
Interestingly, though, because he's left that agenda behind a tag ice, and Ollie can't possibly clear those hard-hitting news tags.
Yeah.
That data raven now is effectively blank, apart from giving out more tags. It's not
I mean, he might just go for it, especially if he's got a medium in hand.
He may as well try and steal that agenda first.
That's true, and given that he's on 4 points.
Exactly, yeah. He then only needs 1 lucky access to win. And so unless there's not a lot of ice that will keep him out in the game, that could be behind that data raven.
I wonder if Ollie thinks that's a GFI as well. So in fact, he takes a credit and clears 3 tags, leaving him on 1 tag. Okay, so he's worried about kill. So with one tag,
he's turned off traffic accident, which means that Chris needs Scorch to kill him, which he can't afford. He hasn't got enough credits to do it. So Ollie's effectively played the safer line here.
So he can double advance this agenda and score it. He's going to sweeps first for 4 credits, which seems reasonable. I assume he's going to score this agenda. Maybe not.
He knows Ollie's not going to steal it now, though, because Ollie's committed to clearing tags, which means he won't run that Raven.
Okay. So he's still thinking. I wonder I mean, I don't know if it depends if he's got another agenda in hand. If he does, he might score it and install, say, a Beal, because then next turn he can threaten a win. No, he can't. I'm bad at numbers. Yeah. So that's true. He's not that close. So in fact, he played sweeps. He trusted the wild side and took credit. Although Ollie had a backup wild side, which he installs.
That looks like he cleared the last.
But it was a misplay because he did not clear his last tag.
Yeah.
He's asking now if he can. Chris allows him, so he's going to clear the tag instead of taking a credit.
Yeah.
Which seems reasonable because you just installed another wild side.
Otherwise, the wild side's going again.
Yeah. Okay, so summary of that turn then was that he installed Wildside, cleared the final tag, and took some
Yeah,
credit.
so that hard hitting news, you can see what it's done to Ollie's board position. He's got absolutely
slowed down a
credits now. Yeah,
Okay, so Sales Team is an interesting include, but it is going to provide some good drop economy for this Soul deck. It's quite an unusual one to see. You normally see it in the kind of last 2-pointer slot in ETF.
it's unusual
and things like
because you've got exploders in that slot. So most MBN lists are pretty set on breaking news, GFI, Beal, and Astro, which means you only need 1 2-pointer. We already know he's got exploder. So
Well, he may be short on GFIs. He may have spent the influence on kill.
Yeah, the agenda suite. But it's a bit unusual in this one.
So we can assume it's almost certainly 3 breaking news. It's
Yep.
probably 1 Astro, 3 Beal, and then I guess you've got some exploders. Maybe it's 3 exploder and 1 Sales Team or something.
Possibly, yeah. He's got 4 1-pointers.
He's right. He's got 50 minutes as
Yep.
well. Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
So,
Yeah.
so that means 8 2.
But the 50 minutes is definitely doing work, even as an odd point.
So
because-
it's probably 3 Beal, 1 Astro, 3 Exploder, 1 Corporate Sales 2.
Yeah, okay. I can agree with that. Let's see. So Ollie finally found the plus creeps we can throw down. Interesting. He almost certainly has I've had worse in hand by now as well. 'cause it
Yeah,
must
so,
be the
so
deck.
that means the kill is probably off the table unless
Yeah.
he can get rid of this plascrete, and the chance of going through it twice are pretty low at this point. I think.
I mean, Chris could 24/7. It's not really worth it. He's on 4 points.
The problem with this version of the deck is that you have to assemble a lot of kill pieces, and having to do that
Yeah.
twice is very punishing. Now that
Yeah.
Boom's out, it's a lot easier because you just need 1 card.
But if this is a Beal in the remote or an Astro, then he can score it, and then he's just looking for one of his 2 remaining 2-1s.
Yep.
So that's not unreasonable. He can just draw for it. This Turnpike, if Ollie cares about tags, this Turnpike's going to do work on HQ because it's not efficient to break.
Turnpike is amazing value for ice. So although it's not immediately overwhelming, that the fact it costs 2, even if you're tagged and a going tag, it still costs you credit to go through it. It's incredibly good ice.
So you get check on the remotes, Jackson,
Which will
is
trash,
gonna
yep.
Yep, seems reasonable. He's not really thinking about going off this remote. He doesn't have an efficient way through this data raven. If he had
He's got Mimic and Sucker, so he can break the Raven.
yeah, he'd like to forked it or something maybe. I don't know. Is that a pro move? You kind of want the raven to go away, right?
Yeah, forking Data Raven is pretty expensive.
Bins a Parasite. Okay.
Parasite may be the other way through it.
Yeah, that's right. He could drop a Parasite on it, and then next turn hit Archives and run the remote. Instead, Beal is going to be scored.
So Chris is now
Interesting.
on game point.
He is now on game
He's got
point.
2 more breaking news in the deck. So Ollie really needs to start locking R&D in all likelihood.
Yeah. On the other hand, if Ollie gets an access and gets one of those 1-pointers, not only can he take it away, he can also swap it for, say, the Sales Team.
Yep.
So he only needs 2 accesses with the turntable to win. So I wonder if he just kind of goes for it. He's not interested. He's going to hit HQ though.
Yeah, he needs to find some accesses.
Yeah. I mean, I can see a Scorch. Okay. I wonder if he's tempted to try and hit R&D. We don't know what this ice is, but
So because you've got a Mimic out, it can't hurt you.
he's also going dangerously low on money this turn if he doesn't use the Liberated. And in fact, even if he does, he's going to use it twice.
Got
Okay.
2 clicks, yeah.
So he's going to avoid hard-hitting news and
Yeah,
breaking news. in
breaking
hand.
news,
Okay. So he might have top decked it, but it seemed like he had it in hand already.
Yeah, but he didn't get enough access to Centrals that game, so...
Yeah, he never ran R&D, and he would like to do that. He was playing around, I think he was playing around the kill quite a lot. We know that, so Chris had the Scorch, but it seemed like earlier on in the game he just didn't have the kill combo.
No,
because-
he drew hard for it and then committed to building a remote, which means that Ollie should be relatively confident it wasn't in hand. But Chris, to be fair to him, very, very accurately diagnosed what he was going to have to do that game. He realised that kill probably wasn't going to happen, and he committed quite early trying to score out. And the key play of that game was the hard-hitting news, which just wrecked Ollie's tempo.
Yeah, it was an interesting decision because the agenda was in the remote. He could have scored the agenda, but using the hard-hitting news was not a play that progressed Chris towards winning, but it very, very much set Ollie back.
Because it gave Ollie a choice. Either he could be very aggressive and keep the tags, almost certainly steal that agenda, because I don't think there was a single ice that could have kept him out there, because Resistor and Wraparound both would have been Davidable at that point. And he had a Mimic for a News Hound. So he could have taken that and gone 6 points, accepted the tags, especially if he had some kill protection in hand. But he took a safer line, but it cost him, in the end, it cost him too much time. But it's very hard to choose at that point.
Yeah, okay. So now Ollie was the winner through the Ilium, so he lost here, which means that we are going to see a second game in the final, in which they're going to swap sides, and we're going to see Chris play as Whizzard against Ollie's CTM. So Ollie was on CTM on the day, which we haven't seen yet. So Whizzard against CTM. Any thoughts on that matchup?
So we now know that Chris is on Siphon Wizard. We saw it in earlier games. So,
that's true. Yeah, he's on ETP.
It depends. A lot of it depends on how much tag punishment Ollie's got in his deck, and that's both the cards that punish Chris for floating tags, which all Siphon decks do, and it's the cards that stop him siphoning. So earlier lists of CTM have stuff like information overload. They have creasing grids. They have targeted marketing to try and stop Siphon. As time has gone on, a lot of those cards have been cut. And depending on how many Ollie has got left in his deck, will kind of depend how he tries to defend against Siphon. It's possibly just tries to rush against it.
Yeah. So we saw earlier in this kind of mini-series earlier in the cut that he had at least one closed accounts and at least one all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
So it seems like he does have...
So
he'll have exchange as well.
All-seeing eye is a dead card against Siphon Wizard because they
of course it is,
play very few assets. And
I guess he hits the same odd things, but
yeah,
it's not really.
they almost certain... good players will play and use the same old thing on the same turn, so it's never vulnerable.
Yes, okay, that's fair. But closed accounts will be strong.
Closed accounts are strong. Exchange of information is incredibly strong. If they steal agendas. So the ideal game plan for Whizzard is that you just keyhole 7 points of agendas and steal them in one go, because then you're not vulnerable to exchange of information.
And if the ice is the likes of Resistor, say, instead of Turnpike and Raven.
Yeah. So what Ollie would like, Ollie would love to kind of force Chris to play his game early, which means he'd like to force him to interact with assets, probably steal a global food that Ollie would love Chris having to score very early so he can swap it.
Yeah.
If Chris can just kind of get on top of that board state, not play that game and just go concentrate on centrals, and he'll be ahead.
Okay, great. All right, so I'd like to remind all of our viewers they can find all the videos at the website nearrunninggrid.co.uk, and we're on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thank you, Chris, for helping me commentate.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.